innocence of God. Perfect creation. In every moment of love, which is all that there is the call to remember perfection. Remembering perfection is an inside job. It's in your heart. It's in your acceptance. It's in your faith that perfection is true, but that nothing that you have perceived in every lifetime has been there to reflect that. So it is a request, a prayer, a deep wanting from the depth of your soul, the wanting to see and live in the perfection of God's love. And when you deeply want it, it begins to reveal itself. Deeply wanting is a place within that the ego wants it only to be used for physical things, decisions that the ego makes of outcomes, and sometimes it deeply wants an outcome or deeply wants things to look different, but only from the place of struggle and pain. But when you deeply want to see the perfection of creation, you are going beyond the ego's domain. You are going to the spirit. And when you deeply want to see the perfection of creation, your prayer is always answered. Always. It may not express itself in the way that you may have already determined is the right way. Sometimes when we ask for the truth so deeply, there's an unraveling first of what's in the way. And can you trust in that unraveling that everything is in God's perfect orchestration? That you can trust whatever you're walking through, you can trust that it is for your learning. It's possibly to learn to have a different loyalty, where your loyalty has been to the ego and what you know. God is calling you first to shift your loyalties consciously. It's a choice. And you have to be available to dig deeper with help, to identify the resistance. If resistance just came in an obvious no, it would be pretty easy to identify. But it doesn't. It comes in all different manipulations of resistance. It uses I know like an expert, because it is an expert at I know. It uses the mind to deny truth. It sees only what it wants to see and how it wants to see it. It has no loyalty to you as the love that you are. It has only loyalty to its self-preservation, which is why when you experience yourself as trying to self-preserve, you can be guaranteed it's the ego that is running the show. Self-preservation is a lie that has no value, no redeeming qualities to it. Self-preservation will use anything. It will lie. It will pretend. It will manipulate. It will coerce. It has an unlimited field of upside downness to use. And your willingness to no longer accept those manipulations or those strategies or those self-preservation tactics as your friend, as something that helps you, because it really, really, really doesn't. It keeps you nailed down to the past, just as if your feet were nailed to the ground. You stay in the past. And what is it that is so tempting and so alluring about staying in the past? There's only one purpose, and it's the known. I know it, so I trust it. But the ego makes a fantasy out of it, that you're trusting something that's almost like made up from a child's book of fables. It wants to take the past and somehow make it so that out of the past you will find your worth. Out of the past it will transform. Out of the past it will become embellished and it will become better. But it never does. It stays exactly as the belief of the ego has made it. It stays in pain and suffering and suspicion and bitterness and self-hatred. And the way of love takes you completely on a fresh road. A road that has divine beings that support every move you make. Divine beings that sing as you walk. Divine beings that clear the path for you because you're in the yes. And you join together with these divine beings because it's what you truly want. And instead of turning to the I know, you begin to turn to all the divine guides that have been sent to you that want nothing but your happiness and your peace and the truth of who you are to emerge from its cocoon and to wave goodbye to the ego and its insanity. The ego has sold a bill of goods, and it's been bought for sure. But the bill of goods is that you know the way, that you know what's needed, that you know when to stop and when to start and when to pull back and when to allow. But it's just another game. Let yourself be taken. Let yourself be led. And for the first time, recognize the brilliance of the journey itself that God has orchestrated for you. There's no mistakes within the spiritual journey. Everything is for your learning if you accept it in that place of truth. In the world, you try to fix the problem instead of, I don't know anything. Show me the way because I want to learn. I'm not here to fix, I'm here to learn. I'm here to be transformed. And give up my hammer and nails of fixing or thinking that I know, when how could any of us possibly know the road to love? We haven't walked it before. And when I was blessed to walk that road, it was completely, I don't know, I haven't got a clue, I have never walked here before. But trusting and having faith that the masters walked before me and that I could trust the road that they burned. I could trust it. And I chose to trust it. That's all that's needed. The willingness and trust in something other than what you already know. This moment and every moment is learning. If you think there is nothing to learn in the moment, wait 1 second and it'll show up because it's already here. Every moment of learning. And in this moment of learning, the willingness to open to beyond the words that this universe is all love. Beyond the words, the universe is all love. Let the words actually take you. Let the words open your heart and your mind to the truth that this universe is all love. Are you accepting that it is all love all the time? That nothing else exists? The sanctuary is filled with love because that's all that exists. There is only one truth that is here, and it is the life force of God. It is the life force of God that is the living essence of everything. Everything that lives is living as the essence of God. Deep within, beyond the form. And as you are the essence of God, find and meet that gorgeous, perfect essence. This hymn is a hymn that counters the no, that counters the I'll do it myself, I know, and I am on my own. This is the medicine that declares otherwise. I am here to receive you, my mother. I am here to receive you, my father. I am here to receive all the blessings that you give to me today. I am here to receive you, my Jesus. I am here to receive you, O Mary. I am here to receive all the blessings that you bring to me today. I am here to receive all the blessings that my mother and father have brought me. I am here to receive all the blessings that you give to me in your way. I am here to receive you, my mother. I am here to receive you, my father. I am here to receive all the blessings that you bring to me today. This declaration is saying this is a fact. I am here to receive the blessings. I'm here to receive the truth of the Divine Father. I'm here to receive the truth of the Divine Mother. I'm here to receive all the blessings because it's what I'm here for. In the discovery of the purpose for incarnation is the realization that there is no other purpose except to remember the truth and to receive the blessings and the enlightenment, the awakening from the divine, to align so completely that there's no longer anything that's out of that alignment. And it's saying, this is what I'm here for. This is what I deserve. Not deserve like there could be a non-deserving or there is it's just is. It is just truth, fact. While being incarnated, you need faith to accept the fact that there is a pouring of light, a pouring of love all the time. But the only thing that blocks it is your no. Your I know myself, I do it myself, I make up my own mind, I run the show. That is what blocks it. The divine can't interfere with your will. Your true will is the will of the divine. It's the will of God. It's all one. And when you're in that harmony, you feel that harmony. You feel the rhythm, you feel the resting, and you feel the ease and the peace, because you're in faith and you're willing to receive. You're willing to accept. I'm here to receive you. This is a hymn that I barely ever sing. It's always in my heart, but I don't sing it out. This is a hymn that was received and was received for me when I was in healing. And it affirmed the deep gratitude and love that I have felt for the beloved who came as Jesus. From the time that I said yes to healing, he came and held my heart until I was ready to embrace it. Jesus Christ, Redeemer, it's to have faith and love, to remember the memories of the Divine Father and Mother. Jesus Christ is with me, within my heart, to remember the memories of our Divine Mother and Father of love. Jesus Christ of love within my heart, remembering the memories of our Father and our Divine Mother. Jesus Christ, the Savior within my heart, to remember the memories of our Divine Father and Mother here in this moment, in this place, in this time. Jesus Christus Redentor et fe y amor, para relembrar lembrança do nosso Pai Salvador. Jesus Cristo está comigo, dentro do meu coração, para relembrar lembrança do nosso Pai do amor. Jesus Cristo do amor, dentro do meu coração, relembrar, lembrar lembranças do nosso Pai Criador. Jesus Cristo Salvador, dentro do meu coração, para relembrar lembrança do nosso Pai no salão. This was the hymn of celebration. To celebrate your acceptance of the divine beings that are always wanting to serve you. To acknowledge them, to cherish them, to devote yourself to them as they devote themselves to you, and that you are together devoted to the divine. And you allow yourself with these divine beings to become equal, to become entrenched in that equality and that union. Who walks with me is a question that we ask in the healing. And it's a question that's very essential. Who walks with me? Who shows me the way? Who serves me day and night? Who never leaves my side? Who never lies? Who always points to the truth? Who always comforts? Who always reflects love? This is true of every master and every true teacher. Always serving and always there. Because the divine and the Holy Spirit are very well aware of how tenuous the journey is for so many, and how much resistance there is. So as much help as possible is always there, just waiting for your yes, waiting for your invitation. With all of the insanity of the ego, one of the ways that the ego uses to not invite these divine beings is through a system that has been developed by the ego that says, I don't want to put myself out there. I don't want to ask because I have learned a really devious way of protecting myself by not asking, by not declaring, by not stepping into what it is that I truly want. The ego plays a great game. The game can look like, I'm not going to say anything until I'm asked. I want to be asked. I want that door to be opened instead of me asking. But we have to ask. We have to declare. We have to say yes. And sometimes we even have to beg. And it isn't because we're begging and we need to beg for them. We need to beg for us. We need to beg so deeply that it breaks open our heart, so that it breaks open our will from the will of the ego. That what you want, you're willing to go to the deepest part of your heart and your soul to declare what it is that you truly want, that you want it exposed, that you want it in the light, and that you're exposing your secret. You're exposing your reserve, your protection, and you're letting it break open because this is all that you want. And in that, you could have whispered, yes, please. And it would have been enough for all the masters and all the divine beings, but it wouldn't be enough for your heart. It wouldn't be enough to stay in that contained place. That when you beg, it breaks open something within you. Because you're not begging them, you're begging you. You're begging with the truth of you that says, come on, come on. recognize what it is that we truly want. We want to remember love. We want to remember peace and harmony. And so we bring ourselves to that and let our hearts break open. Let our will be opened up so that it can be returned to God. Begging is a glorious thing. Skinning your knees on God. Little by little, you will turn into stars. Even then, my dear, you will only be a crawling infant, still skinning your knees on God. Little by little, you will turn into the whole sweet, amorous universe in heat on a wild spring night, and become so free in a wonderful, secret, and pure love that flows from a conscious, one-pointed, infinite need for light. Even then, my dear, the beloved will have fulfilled just a fraction of a promise he wrote upon your heart. When your soul begins to ever bloom and laugh and spin in eternal ecstasy, little by little, you will turn into God. Skinning your knees on God. Are you willing to believe this? Are you willing to accept another way? Because this isn't the way of walking in the world thinking you know something. This is exactly what actually happens underneath the facade of what you think is happening in the world. And become so free in a wonderful, secret, and pure love. A wonderful, secret, and pure love. It's who you are. It's only a secret because you're not in on the secret, because you haven't opened that completely, totally into your awareness, your acceptance. But you can't be anything else. You really can't. I wrote an understanding that you must learn to change your mind about your mind. How is that possible, to change your mind about your mind? It's questioning your mind. It's almost like having a bullhorn saying, okay, what's in there that's running? I want to see everything that I've been making up, and I want to see it because I want to give it to the divine. I want to change my mind about my mind. I don't want to hold in reverence my thoughts, my ideas, my way, because they're not the truth, not at all. When you are in your mind, in your own knowing, you're always in the past. We've said this many, many times. You're in the past. But the weird thing is that it doesn't seem to be that you're in your past, because what you're looking at with your eyes seems to be here. So how is it that your mind can be in the past while you're seeing something that's here? Well, you're seeing everything that you think is here is actually filtered through what you already know from the past. That's the meaning that you're giving to it. But when your mind is in the past, you can't really embrace your spiritual maturity. And maturity is a word that can be associated with time, but in this case, it's being used to recognize that fear comes from a place of believing in helplessness, which is in the world of time very young. You can't embrace your sureness of God in the past. And you're at the effect, when you're in the past, you're at the effect of everything as if you were still 5 years old, believing that the world is happening to you and that you're in danger and that you're helpless and you don't have a choice. That's what fear runs with. I don't have a choice. It's happening to me. In the past, you revert to that child, but it isn't the innocent child of God. It is the belief of a child in danger, or a child that isn't seen or isn't heard, or whatever the identity was. It runs the show then. And everyone that you see reminds you and is actually a reflection of someone from the past. And you look for those connections. But when you embrace that you are the innocent child of God, it's without age. It's without being actually a child. It is about being innocent and whole. The perfect child of God. Wholly innocent and wholly holy. That is a choice that gets made all the time. Everybody has experienced that feeling of being helpless or being at the effect of the world. And when you feel that, you can even say to yourself, get a grip. Get it together. Why are you so shaky? You're saying this to yourself. But it's because you're in the past. And that's shaky ground. Because you believed it was shaky ground, but now is the place of becoming the strength of God. As Jesus said, always regarding to his Father, that he was in his Father's house, that he was following the will of his Father. But he wasn't a helpless child in that declaration. He was a strong descendant of his Father. He was in his faith completely beyond faith into the truth of their oneness. He wasn't afraid. He wasn't tentative. He wasn't doubtful. He carried no bitterness from the past. He carried no facades from a past. He was present as the reflection of the divine. And that is who you are. To be the innocent child is to be free. To be the child of God is to be in strength, to be in assuredness of who and what you are, to accept it. First, it's not knowing it, it's accepting. It's in the acceptance you also call all the divine beings to stand with you because you are willing to stand with them. Because you don't want to have anything in your mind that is personal, that you made up. Personal. It's certainly a place that is revered in the world, personal. But in the spiritual journey, the personal is a limitation. The ego limitation that says, I have to defend me. I have to take care of me. And whatever occurs is about me. When you begin to let go of the personal, you start expanding into the awareness that there isn't a you, there is a we, there is a wholeness. And as you step into faith and into the journey of love, the personal begins to actually fade away. It's not something that has sacrifice connected with it. It's just doesn't have any truth to it. Because if everything is a learning in this incarnation of this world, that everything is for learning, and the learning is all exactly the same, you're in one big beautiful boat with everyone learning the same truth. And you serve each other in that truth. And in the service of each other, you learn that there isn't any difference, that when you serve another, you are serving yourself. It makes no difference. It's all love. And you forget that there's a pie with only so many pieces, and it doesn't add up to the same as how many there are for those pieces. It doesn't matter anymore if it doesn't add up. You've taken the teaching, even if you didn't know it, you've taken the teaching of loaves and fishes miraculously being produced to serve as many as there need to be served. That God will never leave you without what is needed for the divine gift of service, because it is your healing. So at the same time that you are questioning the mind, your heart is expanding. And your compassion and your love is learning to expand and to grow because you're willing to surrender it and offer it. When you offer love, when you offer compassion, not empathy from the world's standpoint of, oh, I'm just like you, we're so miserable. That's not the helpful. But compassion says, this is not God's will for you to suffer, but I'm going to hold you until you are able to accept the love that is here for you. And that beautiful place of your love expanding without looking to get anything, because you've already accepted that you have everything, that you are everything. And every time you accept that you are everything, and really accept it, even when you don't know it, but when you accept it, your heart expands just in the acceptance in such a way that you wouldn't think would be possible. Because as you serve, love has to expand. Love cannot stay dormant. It cannot stay in a container. It has to be constantly expanding. And when you don't expand, it's painful. It's absolutely painful. All you have to do to expand in any moment is to think of one beloved, two beloveds, and see them as the light of God, just to accept them as the light of God and nothing else, and want their remembering, that you want their remembering, and that you will do anything that will serve that. Anything. Whatever God asks that of how you serve, you find this place within that is so willing to serve. Because if you don't expand your heart, you end up in pain. It's like being squeezed in a cage instead of being able to express your love. Innocent child. This journey of incarnation has only its purpose is to remember. So it doesn't matter who you see or what's going on with them. Look past it. Look past whatever they think is going on with them or whatever you think is going on with them. Drop what you think you know about them and ask the divine to show you how to serve them, their soul, how to serve their true nature. They're waiting, whoever it is waiting for your love, for the truth, for the peace, for the harmony. Their ego may be saying, no, I just want normal. I want normal stuff. I don't want love. I just want normal stuff. But that's what their ego is saying, and their soul is asking for love. not pity, not worry, but love. That you bring them into your heart and affirm their perfection. That's a full-time job. It's a precious purpose of incarnation. And you have the capacity for that right now. It's just the yes. You heal a beloved by recognizing his true worth. That's simple. It's very simple because it has nothing to do with finding his school records or finding his work records or finding out whether you even like his or her personality or how they behave. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with recognizing their true worth. And you heal them. You bring healing to them by affirming in your heart the truth of their spirit. And this is exactly what Jesus did as he walked the earth, recognizing worth in every beloved. And when he was on the cross, it even got stepped up. It got stepped up because he was blessing everyone and holding everyone as innocent. Not as a martyr. He was not a martyr. He was a bringer of truth. He was a healer of lies. He saw no differences between any race, any religion, male, female, no difference. All love. And that's what we're called to, because that is the truth. That is the truth of our journey back to union, oneness. Imagine your life without right or wrong, without good and bad, without light and dark, where everything is a gift, where everything is appreciated, everything is holy, because it is. It truly is. How do you begin to break the trance? It's really asking first, what is this for? The ego wants you to ask it last, wants you to do whatever you want to do and then ask afterwards, oh yeah, what was that for again? But if you ask at the beginning, what is this for? What is this thought for? What is this decision for? And you really want to know what the decision is for, it will be shown to you. And then you actually have a choice to make, because it's either something from the ego that it was an old habit, an old trance, or it is being called to serve love. And that's what it's for. And every situation has that opportunity if you ask the question. There is an element of the child, the child of the past, that really has its heart set on rescue, really wants to be not guilty. And if you're not guilty, then why can't you just be rescued? But there is no guilt. It's not about guilt. It's about, I made this up. I made this up. I made up an identity. I don't know how. I don't even know why I would do that. But in the insanity, I made up a doozy. And now I don't want to hold this anymore. And I don't want to hold on to the idea that I want to be rescued. Because there is such a power, and it is such a necessary connection to power of standing firmly in the light with God, and to refuse the gyrations of the ego mind, and to stand in devotion, to stand in determination that all of your intention is to return to love. And that strength that you find was missing. The strength that you find in that devotion was missing in any identity of the ego, because the identity of the ego at its core is weakness. It's weakness and fear and pain and suffering. But weakness is very much in charge. And to allow the divine to transform with your willingness to stand and want to stand in the truth of love, in the truth of light, you find a strength that you never knew was possible. There's no hesitation. There is no fear. There is a devotion and a determination to hold that light, to hold the truth for every beloved, because you can. Because it's your calling and it's your way to return home. Because there is no weakness in God. There is no fear in God. There is no doubt. There is no hatred. There's nothing. It's nothing but love. And love is strength. Love is not weak. And you are not weak but strong in the truth of love. And you are not helpless but all powerful in the truth of love. And it has nothing to do with the body. It's the spirit that finds its voice, its strength, its reality, its eternal life, and its oneness with everything. Because there's no you, there's no separateness anymore. Just the truth of love, expressing itself in any way that it needs to be expressed in the moment. One moment the spirit may be dancing. One moment the spirit may be singing. One moment the spirit may be laying down. But the spirit is still totally the strength of God. Accepting it is the key. And in that, it's the remembering that you cannot know your own perfection without knowing the perfection of everybody. So anytime that there is a irritation or a disturbance of any kind that has to do with something outside, it's just your opportunity to say, no, I have to see the light of the truth of this beloved. It's imperative that I do, because we're the same. We're identical. There's no difference. There's no personality to make it different. There's nothing, no age, nothing that makes it different, that makes us different. We're just heart and the mind of God, which is everything. Everything at all. I wanted to say this prayer because it's speaking to all of this. Before you speak to me about your spiritual path, show me and show it to me with how you treat others. Before you tell me how much you love God, show me in how much you love all His children. Before you preach to me of your passion for your faith, teach it to me through your compassion for all relationships. And in the end, I'm not as interested in what you have to tell or say to me as how you choose to live and offer love. When at the end of the day, you're asking yourself, where did I love and where did I forget? It's not about blame. It's not about criticism. It's about an honesty with yourself. Where did I forget? So that I can see what I was believing in. I did this prayer every day. And it went with a hymn that was, examine your conscience, to look at the day and see if your day was in devotion to love. It's an essential place because it also speaks to a maturity, because a child says, I did nothing. A child can't look at its responsibility because it's a child. It's not there yet. But in the spiritual journey, where was I able to love and where did I forget? And let me see why I forgot, so that I can change my mind, so that I can forgive myself and learn. Let me learn in every moment so that I can remember the truth, because it's all that I want. And coming back to that same place of, I must love. And I must beg, I must plead, I must express how much I want to remember. Not to anybody else, but in my heart. Little by little, you will turn into stars. I looked up at the sky one day, and it was right in the throes of awakening. And I saw every star was a divine being of love. Every star was someone who had walked the earth. Every star was a being of light. You are turning into stars because you actually have always been that. You're just returning to your true nature. Little by little, you will turn into the whole sweet, amorous universe in heat on a wild spring night, filled with the Spirit of God, because that's all that there is. And become free in a wonderful, secret, and pure love that flows from a conscious, one-pointed, infinite need for light. Let it bathe you in your true nature. Accept every word of exquisite beingness as the truth of you. I remember the first time I read a hymn of José's that said, I am the sun, I am the power, I am the light. And I was so shook up. I thought, what is this? This is arrogance. And it took me a long time to finally see that it wasn't arrogance at all. It was just fact. You are the sun. You are the power of God. You are the light itself. You are creation. You're not small. You're not big either, but you're not that small identity at all. You are the light of God. Right now, right here, always, eternally, the truth of God. And you join here and accept it because it's there for accepting. And until you're willing to accept it, I'll hold it for you. Safe and held until you say, I'm ready to hold it. I'm ready for that strength. I'm ready for that truth. One heart.